Good night, folks. Welcome again to Mike and Mike. We are happy that you can join us. Sorry for the delay, but we're going to jump right into it. You can see our entire panel is back, and we are excited. There's a lot of good news out there. We're excited to discuss some of them right away and stuff like that. Anyway, please share, like, and subscribe. Spread it, tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. We would like you continue to share this channel to everyone you get in contact with. Thank you. Without further ado, let's jump right into it. As usual, the panel, we have Prime Minister Khalees is in the house.
Yes.
We have the man from Gethsemane came back, the King Tox.
King Tox. Hello,
In the
good
house,
night.
baby. AKA Mike, AKA as what?
The intelligent investor.
Baby Trump in the house, investor. Yes, people. Welcome back. Welcome back.
And myself.
And myself, Mike.
Yes, Mr. Maga Porter.
AKA Maga Porter. Gentlemen, welcome back. We kind of missed you guys last week and the week before.
Yeah.
So we're excited. He excited for his counterpartner. Mr. Tox is back. So he's probably blushing over there a lot.
Yeah, because you guys are probably ganging up on him while I was gone.
It's been a long time coming. In the building.
So yeah. But yeah, some things really interesting going on in the industry. Guys, you know what? Let me give you the floor of what you guys would like to kick it off with.
Well, I mean, what everybody's talking about, Iran and Israel. Right now, Iran is bombing the crap out of Israel, and the United States better not step in.
They're gonna step in.
No, they
have
better
to,
not
actually.
step in.
If it continues, they have to. Reason being,
it's not their business. Israel started it. This is what happens.
There's a treaty, though.
But remember,
I understand there's a treaty, but they
and
started.
They are
And
part
rest
of the
these-
NATO.
Yeah, but the rest of these NATO countries are not in agreement with it. We got to remember, Israel is a country, or they're not even a country. They're a nation state occupying somebody else's land illegally.
Legal. That's facts.
Nation
is
state,
that.
no country,
What are they occupying?
no nationality.
Palestine.
That's Palestine?
That's Palestine.
Yeah,
that
Pal-
belongs to them.
Palestine
That's an
own it.
occupancy. That's been the whole thing with them for 80 years.
They wind up over there because Hitler was trying to wipe them out.
Okay.
And they went to Palestine for refuge. And the Palestinians take them in. And now they took over.
Yeah,
the whole
well,
damn
supposedly,
country.
but to be honest with you, we don't even,
So
well,
where were they before that?
They were in Europe.
they were in Europe because they remember, they've been kicked historically for the past 7,000 years. They have been kicked out of 109 different countries.
Yeah.
For the same things that they're doing now.
That's interesting.
So where they're warmongering, obviously usury, lending money, you're not supposed to do that.
They use
A
religion
lot of heinous
as an
things,
excuse.
Sexual deviancy, so on. Like the list goes on and on.
They use religion as an excuse.
And they use Judaism as an excuse, and they're not and that is not true Judaism. That's why if you notice, like if you go down to like Borough Park in Brooklyn,
Right.
and you actually sit there and have a conversation with like one of these like Hasidic Jews, the Orthodox Jews, they will tell you that is not Judaism. That's Zionism, which is basically some sort of distorted political belief that they try to tie in with Judaism. So then this way they can guilt trip everybody. So whenever you question them, oh, you're anti-Semitic. And then you have to correct them and be like, if you're educated, you're like, first of all, you're not even a Semite. The Palestinians are. They're Europeans. They're from Khazaria, which is now modern day Ukraine.
Okay.
That's, that goes back to the Bolsheviks and all that nonsense. So right now, they have been dying to go to war with Iran. They've been wanting Iran and the United States to go to war with each other since the 80s.
So you initiate that.
Since the 80s, okay? They initially started something. Obviously this is all Netanyahu's doing because Trump had turned his back on him. But what's got me mad with Trump is that, he's still sort of kissing his ass.
Right.
So I'm not
problem
sure.
to Israel, right?
Yeah, but Israel is the main problem. So right now what's happening is Iran is bombing the crap out of them.
I see.
And what I'm saying is that, and they're saying, he's trying to say, well, if they bomb Tel Aviv, New York is next. Is that a threat? So I'm telling people right now, if New York gets bombed, do not think it was Iran because it wasn't. That is Israel running another one of their plays the same way they did with 9/11. So then this way they have a reason to go to war with Iran. Trust me, you don't want a war with Iran. People really don't understand that. You don't want they are a nuclear superpower, and the only reason they've held back, people keep thinking that they've been holding back because they're scared. They are not scared. They're holding back because they actually want to spare people.
But the same thing too is the same breath where Trump was telling them, trying to approach them at some point in time and said, "Listen, dismantle your nuclear development," and they kind of stay silent. And then Trump repeated it again and says, "Listen, I said before, I want you to dismantle your nuclear development."
Right.
So they respond to him, and Trump said, "They said to Trump, who you talking to? Not us, right?" So Trump kind of lay low, and then all of a sudden, out the blue, you see Israel now started warring with them.
Yeah.
Like, wait a minute, this doesn't make any sense. This
Seems
is
a little coordinated, right?
Yeah, this is too convenient. But then again, at the same time, Israel, U.S. already put them on the back burner where they disconnect themselves from them. So the technicality part of it is that they going to, if this war continue to prolong, eventually the U.S. have to step in.
No, they better not step in because that's the trick. Don't you understand? It's a trick. They better not step in. If they step in, we are doomed. The American people don't want war.
Yeah,
so think about it. If that happens, then the United States government needs to be overthrown. Okay, we are not. We are okay as a United States citizen, as a U.S. national.
So what I'm saying that Trump need to be overthrown?
No. What I'm saying, I'm saying the U.S. government. So that means if Trump allows that, then yeah, he needs to be overthrown too.
Hey, see,
because like I said, this is Israel's fight. This is not our fight.
There was just a recent allegation.
This is not our fight. They're trying to pull us into it, and it's nonsense.
But that's what Netanyahu was trying
and Netanyahu's the fuck. I'm sorry, pardon my French. He's the devil. He's a piece of crap.
I still don't comprehend how this guy was exiled by the Israelites, but forget about Israelites, by the Israels,
by the Israelis,
by the Jews.
Yeah,
how they were abandoning him. Isolated him.
Yeah, banished pretty much.
Banishing him pretty much. And he went back as the prime minister again of the country.
How do you think that happens?
How the hell that happened?
How do all Israelis come to power? Blackmail and extortion. They've been doing so for 80 years.
You think that's what happened?
Allegedly.
Yeah, that's not allegedly. That's exactly what it is.
Allegedly.
I will use the word allegedly. I'm very strong on my convictions. I read a lot. There is no allegedly. I am not scared of anybody. That goes back before Netanyahu, when it was even what's his name, Ben Gurion or whatever his name was. These people have always been trouble.
Running the fine prince, man.
They've always been trouble. They've always been trouble, and then they want to hide behind Judaism and then act like they're the victims. They want to throw their stone. They want to throw a stone and then hide their hand. That's exactly what they're doing. It doesn't work. It's been 80 years. It's been 80 years of this nonsense. Nobody has their back. The U.S. better not step in. It's not eventually. They better not step in. That is a bad call of judgment if they step in. This is Israel's fight. This is what you wanted. Now Iran is about to blow you to smithereens, and that's going to be the end of it.
Oh, Iran is launching missile on them like water.
As they should. As they should.
And the funniest thing is that they thought the infrastructure couldn't impact it. I mean, people are Israelites. Why I keep on saying this? Israelites.
They're not Israelites. They're Israelis.
They're Israelis, right? I'm mixing up with the original.
Israelites are the original Jews, also like from Ethiopia, right. Things like that. Okay. And Israelis are made up term, which is basically an Ashkenazi, a Khazar from Eastern Europe.
These guys are dying left and right because the missiles are penetrating their defense system.
Yeah.
They thought that couldn't happen, and the Palestinians, Iranians, hitting them hard, boy.
Yeah, as they should.
And they even launching weapons from submarines.
As they should.
Missiles from submarines.
As they should. I'm loving
Israel
it.
Don't know where the hell these missiles are coming from. So their system is like they're spinning. Yeah. Their defensive system is focusing on the area where they think the missiles are coming from.
Iran has been waiting on this because Iran has been waiting on this because Israel has basically been poking at them since the 80s. They've been poking at them. You've been poking the bear for the 80s. So guess what? That whole 40 years that you've been poking the bear, that bear's been getting prepared.
They decided to unleash everything on them right now.
And now that everything that happens to Israel, they deserve it.
But look what they did with the Palestine too. The Palestine is the one that rescued them from Hitler. And now they came and threw these people out.
Exactly. Because Palestine didn't rescue them. Palestine what Palestine did.
They gave them refuge.
Palestine, remember, Palestine, there were Jews and Palestinians living there in harmony for thousands of years. Then these Zionists came in Ashkenazis, whatever you want to call them, Khazarians. They're the ones that came in seeking refuge, but they had ulterior motives. Instead of being grateful and seeking refuge, no, you want to come in. That's like basically I let you into my house, then all of a sudden you want to take over my house. Nah, it don't work that way.
The problem I don't like with them is this. You, as a religion organization or as a religion.
And that's all they are. They're not a nationality. They're not a people. They are a religion.
People, right? You should have set example for the world to follow. Be a leader. But instead, they're using religion and using these hypocrisy structure and using it as a method to create these isolation, these segregation and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, if people share their opinion, this is the problem what I find to a lot of people keep on going back and like, oh, I apologize because they're about to get boycott from the people, from the Jews them.
Yeah.
And if you speak something and it's facts, why are you hiding from it for?
Exactly.
At the end of the day, if you're talking bull crap and lies, I can understand that. But if you're sharing facts,
should
and
be
you're
able to
sharing
stand on
facts
that.
on an educational level, not more of a demanding characteristic. You're sharing facts. Say, okay, like what we just explained. Like for instance, they were cast out. Palestine saved them and are taking them as refuge because of what Hitler was doing, which was also bad. What Hitler was trying to do to
And trust me, the stuff that I found out about Hitler, that's not. Let's put it this way: what history has taught us, they've actually lied about him too.
What they lie about?
I mean, allegedly.
A lot. Let's put it that way. A lot. No, it's not allegedly.
That sounds a little radical, right?
A lot. Let's put it this way. There's so much truth coming out about him that they can't use his name. What they refer to him as, if you go on in social media, Instagram, whatever, and you receive these certain things, they refer to him as the Austrian painter. The Austrian painter was very much on point. He did a lot of heinous things, but
that's a positive, actually. That's a positive.
What do you mean? I'm sorry?
That's a positive assertion.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. History was distorted because of this certain nation state that occupies a land illegally. History was distorted. The last 80 years, we've been lied to because of this particular nation state. And they know who they are. The synagogue of Satan.
Is silent development or conspiracy?
This is silent development. That's what I'm saying. I read everything. There's nothing that gets by me. This isn't a conspiracy theory. This isn't a conspiracy theory. This is what it is.
This is actuality, right?
And it's coming to a head.
It sounds a little too unvetted right now.
Their reign is over. I can't wait. Iran is going to completely wipe them out.
But
I'll tell you this much.
You're anti-Semitic, man.
Huh?
You're anti-Semitic.
Yeah, they will. They're going to wipe them out. And I'm telling you right now, anybody in New York, if we get attacked, it was not Iran that attacked us. That is a false flag operation. Most likely, that was probably Israel doing that.
The U.S.
So do not fall for the hype when they start saying, Iran attacked New York. No, they didn't.
Yeah, but
you're gonna see it. Watch. Give it a few days. You'll see on the news.
Yeah,
like, oh wait, Justice said they were gonna say this.
You gotta understand, the United States not just gonna turn over and play dead.
No. What do you mean? It's not turning over and playing dead. It's not our fight.
What I'm saying though is they decide they want to come on this side. I guarantee the U.S. got something to come.
But they're not. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. They are not. Iran doesn't want any problems with the United States. If something happens here, because basically this look
right. But say the U.S. intervene.
Netanyahu already told on himself by saying, if they bomb Tel Aviv today, they're gonna bomb New York tomorrow. That is predictive programming. What's gonna happen if New York gets bombed? I'm telling you right now, 10 times out of 10, that was Israel. That was not Iran. Even though that's the kind of narrative they're going to try to push, that is bullshit.
What's Mike's word? Fear mongering.
Exactly.
They would have to go.
Iran does not want any problems with the United States.
They would have to go to Tel Aviv first.
Huh?
They would have to go to
Tel Aviv.
No,
what do you think they're doing now? Tel Aviv is getting bombed.
And once they do that, then U.S. could.
No, I'm trying to explain to you. No, see, this is what I mean. See, the media already got a hold of your brain. That's not gonna happen. They're trying to plant that in our head. So then this way, Iran's gonna bomb. No, Iran doesn't want any problems with the United States. If New York gets bombed, it was because Israel did it. It was not Iran. They're gonna bomb. This is exactly what's gonna happen. I tell you what. Just give it a few days.
I'm pretty certain U.S. got intelligence that's gonna pick that up.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether U.S. has intelligence. You have a whole bunch.
They can intercept that stuff.
No, you have a whole bunch of Israeli dignitaries here that work. That work in the highest.
The United States has active radar right now.
Listen. The United States okay, has more than, I want to say, 40 to 50 active dual citizenship people from Israel that are in the higher levels of government here.
Yeah.
That they will try to block that information. You understand?
They can't do that.
Yes, they can. They've been doing it for 80 years. That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
They cannot.
Yeah.
The emotions.
Angel, that's what they control the media, bro. They've been controlling the media. That's why I'm telling you guys, watch. You're going to see in a few days, you're going to see, oh, New York got bombed. And they're going to try to blame it on Iran. I'm telling you right now, it was not Iran, it was Israel.
Who mentioned that anyway, that New York was probably going to get bombed?
Netanyahu said it.
He said that?
He just said that the other day, right before Tel Aviv got bombed.
I don't.
They're not playing with U.S. though.
See, Mike over there playing in the
No,
safe.
they're not. That's what I'm saying. They're not going to
Right,
play with
right.
you. I need you guys. No, I need you guys to understand this. You're absolutely right. They are not going to bomb the United States.
They can't.
Iran is not going to bomb the United States. Israel will bomb the United States, New York most likely, and they're going to try to blame it on Iran.
The question is,
What I'm telling people is, don't believe the hype. Do not believe it.
So me
Don't
ask you this
believe the
question.
hype. U.S. got high intelligence
But
that's going
based
to
on the-
intercept.
No,
drones
they
or whatever
don't
coming.
because the U.S. is compromised. The highest levels of government in our country is compromised
So-
by Israeli dual citizens.
Let me ask you this question.
They sign
how
oaths, man.
how you think they're gonna accomplish that if, let's say hypothetically that they would pull off of trying to bomb the New York? How they would pull that off? How you
What do you
think they
mean?
would pull it off? Meaning have the capability of.
Well, most likely it's probably, if he said it, that means it's already in place here. That means there's somewhere in the city, most likely downtown, UN building, who knows, World Trade Center, something's already put in place. So it's already here. It's probably
But
been
I'm
here.
trying to figure
It's
out-
probably been here for years, for months already.
I'm trying to figure out if he. Well, you
Where they gonna launch that
can
from?
attest to that he did say that. So I didn't see it, but the
What do you
fact
mean?
that.
It's been all over social
Yeah,
media.
I didn't see. But at the same time, let's say it is true and it's all over the social and that is factual true. Now, my thing is why he would initiate something like that or even mention that.
Because he
type of
wants the
statement.
United States and Iran to go to war. He's been wanting this for 40 years.
No,
He
that's
wants
easy.
Iran's
Yeah.
oil. Don't you understand? He wants complete control of the Middle East.
Ooh.
You can't,
Not
Netanyahu, you cannot control the Middle East because the Persians control the Middle East. You got to remember the Persians and the Arabs have a very, very strong hold on the Middle East. And most importantly, they have a strong hold on a large percentage of the oil. Remember, all comes down to the money. Okay, there's a lot of high value natural resources in the Middle
Justin,
East.
I believe that's nothing but solicitation right now, because the person saying that actually has an investment, has a reason to say that.
What do you mean?
If Netanyahu is saying all this stuff,
He doesn't have
and
an
because-
investment. He's a prime minister of a country. He's
Right.
a warmonger.
but he wants U.S. to be on high alert so U.S. could stop Iran.
No,
from
he's trying to
potentially going at
get
them.
he's trying
Mhm.
to get U.S. and Iran to go into a war, so we go into World War III. That's what he wants.
Right. If U.S.
Nobody wants
if
that
US
except him.
If U.S. and Iran clashes, that's less forces going to him.
Okay, you're not listening. If U.S. and Iran clashes, then Netanyahu did his job. Don't you understand? That's what he's setting out to do. He's setting out to put the Iran and the U.S. into war, which will start World War
I don't
III.
think-
Yes,
I
no,
don't think
no,
the
it's
United
not out.
States, the United States is not that manipulable. So
Are you crazy? We've been getting manipulated for 80 years. I've just been saying this for the last 15 minutes. Bro, that's what we've been controlled. We am saying this. You know, what they always say.
I haven't seen the effects of that yet.
You'll see. Like I said, I just want you guys.
We're one of the
if
most
you see something,
secure countries.
If you see something in the
People
news,
run here for refuge.
if you see something in the
People
news in the
run.
next few
People run
days,
here for refuge.
What I would
and New York gets bombed, or a major city in the United States gets bombed, and they try to blame it on Iran, I'm telling you right now, it was not Iran.
And we going ballistic.
It was not Iran. I'm telling you that right now. That's all I want people to think. I want people to think logic. See, they're expecting people to think with their emotions. You never think with your emotions. You always have to lead with logic. You never let your emotions trump your logic. So what's going to happen is that a major city, most likely New York, LA, Chicago, Miami, is going to get bombed. They're going to try to blame it on Iran. What I'm saying is, don't believe the hype. It was not Iran that did it. It was Israel that did it.
Yo, I think
If you have that kind of intelligence, they might just be coming for you, man.
I think once,
They can come for me. I'm not scared of you.
I think once you
I'm
start,
really not.
Once you start uploading this and the algorithm started scanning,
Right.
no more the word of bomb go through. They're like delete.
I'm not scared of them. I'm not scared. Look,
You
I'm
know
not
that. You know
scared.
the algorithm pick up on those trigger words.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
right?
what I'm saying.
I'm not scared. I'm not scared of Netanyahu. I'm not scared of Shapiro. I'm not scared of Mossad. I'm not scared of CIA. I'm not scared of none of them. None of them.
This is King Pops for you. You see, that's why Mike over there on the
Yeah,
side.
play it real safe. Play it real safe.
He's on the side.
Yeah. like I need all my paperwork.
My paperwork is
Right.
So I haven't said anything all night.
We know why.
But I agree with Angel. I think this is one of the most secured country in the world, right? People run here for refuge, as Angel said. I don't think it's that easy, especially in this day and age with social media and every glass have like a camera, every phone have a camera.
Right.
People are not so gullible, right? 'Cause even 9/11, we all question that, right?
That was an inside job.
That was
All
inside.
the
That was an
building
insurance
came
scam.
down and stuff like so
Once again, spearheaded by Israel, but continue.
right.
Allegedly.
No, it wasn't. I don't know what it is with this allegedly.
It's alleged.
That's them saying maybe they're scared. I'm not. I know it was you. Spearheaded by Israel, a nation state illegally occupying somebody else's land. Continue.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead. What you saying, Mike?
No, continue what you're saying.
You said continue what you were saying.
Yeah, but if Israel and Iran are going to war, it's only right that we step in because
We have to.
Israel is our ally.
No.
We
See,
have
this
to.
is where they
And
guys got
you're
you.
a part
This
of-
is where they
Say
got you
again,
fooled.
say
That is
again,
not
Mikey,
our
say
fight.
again.
Israel is on their own.
No,
Okay, we
alright,
are
so
not
check
fighting. We
this
are
out,
not
right?
fighting their fights
If
anymore.
a random guy was supposed to pull up here and try to pick a fight with you, automatically me, Angel, and
Everybody's gonna respond.
Mike,
Right.
Well, yeah, because I don't start fights with people. But if I start a fight with somebody,
I
then
understand the logic what he's saying because we are family here.
Uh-huh.
We are good friends and stuff like that. So if
family, use that word.
Yeah,
but that's
if-
just what it is.
if a
Israel is not
stranger-
family.
Yes,
if a
Israel is not
Yes.
family.
They're part of.
they're
No,
part of NATO.
They're not.
Yes.
Listen, regardless of I disagree with certain method or certain policies they have and certain behavior, but at the same time, the U.S. has to. It's not maybe or they have to step in if this war.
No, that's where you're
prolong.
wrong. That's where you're fooled. They
So
don't
I-
have to.
I
This
don't-
is not
I don't
our
think-
problem. Don't you understand? Because they started it. They want us to go
Yeah,
to
they
war.
started, but I'm saying
If the United States goes to war with Iran, that is World War III. Do you understand the magnitude
okay,
of that?
Russia's gonna step in, right?
Exactly.
China is gonna step
And
in.
we're gonna
North
lose.
Korea is gonna step in. But at the same time, listen, the fact that look at the convenience of this, right? Like I agree with you to a certain extent where they initiated this because again,
They always
the
initiate.
US
They always
the US
initiate.
made this warning. Give this one. Let me not remove the word threat. Give this warning to Iran and say, listen, you're developing nuclear arsenal over there. We need to just stop it, right?
Right.
Iran ignore government.
Because that's not the United States' place to tell them
And
to stop
I agree.
doing that.
And I agree.
Because, this is why Kennedy got killed. Because nobody talks about
Right,
Israelis.
but
Nobody
you-
talks about Israelis' nuclear
Right,
nuclear
but
bombs
you-
that they have.
US
that
intelligence-
for some reason nobody's allowed to ask about that they've been developing for 80 years. This is why Kennedy got killed. So it's the same thing for Iran. They have no business telling Iran to do anything.
There's a lot of contradictional stuff and
Yeah, but
hypocrisy
US
and
intelligence just
hypocritical.
released a press information that contrary to what the president says, Iran doesn't have those type of stuff.
So I guess I'm assuming
It's the most debunkable argument.
Let me assume this. Okay? Let me try to assume to this. Reason why they don't want Iran, Iraq, and these other countries have nuclear capabilities is that because they are they are like Taliban nations who people are full of
No,
terrorists.
they're not. That's
Okay, so-
propaganda.
Okay, you answering this then, why in the world you are trying to stop these people of developing their own, just like as what you said. I am not aware that Israel has their own nuclear.
You see what I mean? That's why Kennedy got
Let's
killed.
say if they have that, right?
They
why
do.
the U.S. didn't stop them?
Because don't you understand the U.S. is under their control? This is what I'm trying to explain to you. Israel has had the United States in a stranglehold for 80 years through blackmail, manipulation, and extortion.
Blackmail of what? What they're blackmailing or what?
Because the highest levels, okay, for history, the highest levels of these people in the high government, they got dirt on them. Don't you understand? This is how Israel has gained power by blackmail and extortion. What do you think the whole? You do realize Epstein was a Mossad agent. He wasn't a celebrity. He wasn't some billionaire. He was a Mossad agent that was sent in to blackmail these high priority people. Mm-hmm. He was a Mossad. Mossad is basically the CIA of Israel. Mm-hmm. He was a Mossad agent. He was brought in, and this is why and he created that whole pedophile ring. You got to remember, Ghislaine Maxwell's father was a Mossad agent.
Facts.
Yeah, bro, I read. This isn't hearsay.
Yeah, but remember.
I mean, I hardly disagree with you, but not because you read it doesn't mean it's factual.
Yeah, that's what I was going to address. Remember, we talk about religion where because man wrote the Bible, you guys,
But this is a religion we're talking about. These are facts.
I'm giving you the context. So because man wrote it, so a lot of people have this belief, but it doesn't mean that because you read something in a book, right, meaning it's true. Right. People can create their own facade.
Narrative.
People can create their own narrative.
You're absolutely right, but this is information that is hidden. Look, for the fact that you didn't even know that Israel had their own, nuclear weapon system. They've had one for 80 years.
I'm thinking they were relying on the U.S.
No, you understand? Because this is something that they paid to see. Everything has been getting exposed the last 2 years. This is why they're losing their power. You got to remember, their power was for the last 80 years. Their power was that nobody knew what the hell they were doing. So when you don't know what somebody else is doing, you have control over them. You have your thumb on them. They no longer have the thumb on them. But what it is, they're still trying to manipulate. They're still trying to, start shit and things like that. Mm. They are not good people. They have never been good people. They have never been our allies. Okay,
that's anti-Semitic.
It's nothing but friendly extortion.
That's so anti-Semitic.
No, it's not anti-Semitic because they're not Semites. This is what I mean. The media got you guys brainwashed with that nonsense. They are not Semites.
Next couple minutes.
Right,
they're not Semites. They are not Semites. You are Khazars, you're Khazarians, you know that. You are not Semites.
All these unvetted assertions, though.
These are not assertions. This is what I'm saying. You guys got to see. I had to completely undoctrinate myself. This is why I don't listen to the news. I have to get through all different kinds of outlets to get the real information.
But that's like a real conspiracy right now.
No, it's not a conspiracy though. It's facts.
No, I understand what Justin is saying.
We all understand what he's saying.
They're not. We're Semites. They're not Semites. We're Semites. A European cannot be a Semite.
What you're saying, Mike?
Yeah, regardless of what we believe, what's taking place now, if the war escalate, right, we have to step in as an ally, a big brother, as a buff, Israel, right?
They need to let Israel die.
No.
Israel is paying the US.
We can't do that.
Allegedly.
See?
They're supposed to be paying the US.
No, they're part of NATO, and that's the agreement.
They're part of NATO. So that's the agreement. So
they don't pay us anything.
Who's a part of NATO?
They don't pay us anything.
Israel.
They take
Israel a part of NATO?
Yeah.
They take billions and billions of dollars from us every year.
I'm saying.
Wait,
for 80
hold
years.
on. Wait, I don't want
They don't pay us anything.
I don't want that to go overhead.
They don't pay us
I don't want that to
anything.
go overhead.
They've been taking billions and billions of dollars from the United States taxpayers for 80 years.
Can you research that right quick, please? Is Israel a part of NATO?
Yeah,
they're NATO.
No, Google that for me, please, because I don't want.
And then that's the other thing. NATO's a scam.
That's misinformation.
And no, it's not misinformation. What you gotta understand is that NATO's a scam. NATO's nonsense. Don't you understand? NATO, WEF, Klaus Schwab, it's all nonsense.
NATO's been harmonizing countries.
No, they haven't.
Years.
NATO, let me tell you something. NATO,
World War II.
NATO does the front, exactly. NATO does the front like they're the ones that are bringing peace. They're not, but on the back end, they're bringing peace, but on the back end, they're selling weapons. Come on, man.
Mike, research that.
It says no. It says
Israel cannot be a part of NATO. I'll give you 6 reasons.
They're not a NATO country, right?
No.
Look, they got kicked out. They're on their own.
I can tell you, that is misinformation.
No, it's not misinformation.
They got kicked out.
NATO. Israel is not a part of NATO.
They were a part of it.
Even their word.
They got kicked out.
They probably got kicked out. Yeah,
Because that's nonsense. Nobody wants to deal with them.
That's crazy though. So that means okay. So here's the thing. Now this is gonna be. This is gonna be really touchy now. So according to Trump, what Trump is saying that he made a statement. I think it was 2 days ago, or if on his either was it on his birthday parade thing or
The King's
day
Parade.
before? The King's
I should have laughed. I should have
The King's
laughed.
Parade.
And
But
even
he
with
was
that-
sleeping at his own part. Anyway,
Even with that, people are stupid with that because I hope you guys know that all you guys out there protesting think you actually doing something.
How
Your
much?
face all got recognized by the new Palantir software. So yeah, real smart.
so the thing is, Trump make a statement and says, I think one of the this is when he was coming back from the summit because he cut it short. So there was a reporter kind of approach him and says, listen, what's going on with Israel and stuff like that?
I
You
seen
think
that.
You have to step
That was
in.
yesterday.
What's going to happen? He said, well, we're watching it. We may have to
Intervene.
side and intervene and stuff like that. So the fact now that Israel is not a part of NATO, they cut ties with Israel.
Yeah.
Why in the hell now?
It gets real murky right now.
You are going to step in because, and now I'm coming back to your table now. If they step in now, since Israel is not a part of NATO,
It's not a part, but it's a strong ally to America.
Nah,
because
America-
America
So
has a
it's
lot
like
of.
we promised them security. We promised them
But how are you
security.
going to be doing stuff like that and they're part of that?
they have
they're
been
not part of
blackmailing
the-
and
This is not
extorting the
verbal.
United States, and the blackmail and extortion
And
is
this
over.
is not verbal.
It's not verbal.
It's in writing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I kind of.
It's Big Brother protection. That's all it is.
No, it's not. It's not.
It's a
In
touchy
other words,
situation.
yeah.
Israel will
They
burn.
are they're acting. U.S. They act as part of their allyship with Israel.
There is no more allyship with them.
There is.
We cut ties with them. That was the big news
The
when
U-
Trump
the
cut
US
ties with
The
them.
US will cut ties. And
They
stuff.
are on their own.
This
And
is
it's
what
about
I'm-
damn time because they've been starting shit for 80 years. Every single major conflict that we have had for the last 80 years was spearheaded by Israel. Every single one. You can go, that's in the history book. You can look. That's something that they can't cover up. Every single major conflict that the United States has had with these other countries for the past 80 years has all been spearheaded by
I
Israel.
wouldn't say that because look at
if
look what happened
U.S.
with
intervenes,
9/11.
then they got to pick a side between Iran.
Israel. That was Israel that planned that. You didn't know that?
How is Israel that plan that?
What do you mean? That was an
You said,
insurance
you
scam.
said from your own mouth as well that this was inside job, which I agree.
Yes, it was an inside job.
I think it's
It was an inside job. Look,
But-
it was an inside job, and on top of that, who did they blame? Who did they blame the 9/11 on?
Osama.
They blamed it on
Iraq.
They blamed it on what's his name, right? Osama bin Laden.
Mm-hmm.
You know why, right?
Which reside in Iraq.
You know why, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because at that particular time, Israel was beefing with Iraq. Same thing when they finally got Saddam Hussein, and then they had, they killed Saddam Hussein and showed it on Reddit and everything. You know why, right? Because Saddam Hussein was running what country at the time? What was
Iraq?
it? No, it wasn't Iraq. What was the one that Saddam Hussein was running?
Oh, what's the it's right beside the
You got Iraq, Iran. I always forget the other one. Saudi Arabia.
no, not Saudi. It's right beside Iraq.
Yeah.
What?
You got Iraq. You got Iran.
I didn't want to pull it in my phone right now.
Yeah. No, but mind you, that country, these are all countries that Israel was beefing with because Israel wanted their oil rights. Don't you understand? It always comes down to the money. The whole reason why
It's Iraq.
Sorry,
Iraq,
Iraq,
right, yes, Iraq. So it's the whole
What was the name of it?
Iraq.
yes,
Wait, what?
Iraq.
Iraq.
Yeah. Oh, you
So-
pronounced it different.
Yeah, they're right beside.
So that's what I mean, because they want their resources. The whole thing why do you think Israel went in, or why do you think Israel created that nation state right there on the Gaza where the Dead Sea is at? The Dead Sea is a $5 trillion mineral enterprise. 5 trillion, I didn't say billion, $5 trillion mineral enterprise.
That's buku
What do
money.
you
On
mean?
top of that, you got the Suez Canal, which is probably one of the most valuable canals as far as shipping products and goods. Just as probably more valuable than the Panama Canal.
I thought it was a Panama
Well,
Canal.
no.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You got the Panama Canal on this side of the world. You got the Suez Canal on that side.
Which
That's
is what-
just as valuable
Which is what
as the
China.
Panama
Isn't
Canal.
that what China created?
What?
The
No,
Su-
the Suez Canal
Suez-
is in what do you call? That's over there by Gaza. All this
But
is right
isn't
there.
it didn't China did create that that loop,
What do you mean? What loop?
The same panel we just described there, the Suez.
The Suez Canal,
Suez.
yeah. But China don't got nothing to do with that. China had something to do with the Panama Canal. So where what it is, the U.S. gave it back to Panama, but then Panama did something, but China did something to where they were like they took control of it.
I thought,
and then
China,
the U.S. took the Panama Canal back.
It was some news where there was some history. I think it was part of the History Channel they were studying it, but it was something current where China, where they said if certain things happen over the Middle East side, China would have, like, if there's some type of war based on Trump movement, they have a canal. I think it was based on when he was calling Gulf of Mexico, not Gulf of Mexico.
No, that's the Panama Canal you're talking about, not the Suez Canal.
Where he was trying to shut down.
Yeah, they were talking about the Panama Canal.
There was another canal where China was developing or had already developed that's over that side. I thought it was...
Nah, it's not the Suez. The Suez has been something that has been fought over for like hundreds and hundreds of years because it's always been a very valuable trade route. Because that's how you're able to bring goods and everything like that through that area. You got to remember, you have to see where the Middle East is positioned at. The Middle East is positioned right in the middle of three major continents, which is Africa on the bottom. You have Europe to the left, and then you have Asia to the right. So that's a very valuable area right there of trade and commerce and everything like that. Why do you think they position themselves there? Everybody knows in true Judaism was never promised a kingdom. They were promised a spiritual kingdom. That's why to be Jewish is a religion. It's not a nationality. You ever notice that? You never met nobody. There's no such thing. There's no such thing as somebody. There's no such thing as Jewland. You have Irish Jews, you have Italian Jews, you have Bulgarian Jews, you have German Jews, you have Russian Jews, you got Jamaican Jews, you got Puerto Rican Jews, because it's a religion. It's not a nationality. So they were never promised that. This goes back to the days, when supposedly when God broke down the lands, things like that. They weren't given a land. They were promised a spiritual kingdom. They were not promised a physical kingdom. And the reason why was because Judaism, like you said, they practice certain things that are not that as far as usury, lending money and charging interest, things like that. That's why they were never promised the land. They're basically nomads. They're gypsies.
They're originally structured. They were occupied in Jerusalem, and then from there, they I think Pharaoh at the time was kind of rushing them, and I think this is where nowadays, as earlier times come.
Well, you're absolutely correct. Right. That is the correct story. But these ones that are posing as those Semites are not Semites. These are Eastern Europeans, Ashkenazis that came from Khazaria. Khazaria is now known as Ukraine. They come from the Caucasus Mountains. Those are Eastern Europeans. An Eastern European cannot be a Semite. They're basically cosplaying. Like that story you're telling, that's a true story. But the people that are claiming that, those are not the people. No. Because the people that the story that you're talking about, they look like you. They don't look like me. I look like an Eastern European.
That's
deep. I'm not. They look like you. That's when they say the original Jews. It's not Jew. It's the Jewels. The original Jews were black. They come from Ethiopia, things like that. That's all original tribes.
Yeah, I gotta dig up some more.
Yeah, the Ashkenazis were not. That's not an original tribe. These are Eastern Europeans that came from the Caucasus Mountains. This is where the whole word Caucasian comes from, because they come from the mountains.
Caucasus.
You know what I'm saying? And it was called Khazaria, the Khazars, the Khazarian Empire, the Bolsheviks. Who murdered 6 million Christians. God knows how long. Nobody ever talks about that.
How many?
Like 6 million Christians. See, everybody always talks about, how 6 million Jews were murdered and things like that. First of all, they did that to their own people. They made it seem they used Hitler as a front man, but they did that to their own people. But they never talk about going all the way back to the Ashkenazis, to the Bolsheviks, to where they murdered 6 million Christians. Nobody ever talks about that. They just talk about all the Jews that were murdered. Okay, well, what about the 1,000 years? What about a couple thousand years before that, when all the Bolsheviks murdered all the Christians? So
moving forward in that.
You probably know something about that.
Listen, all night Mike is on the safety. From you launch off, Mike is just.
Yeah. This guy a little too extreme with me.
I'm ignorant of all of this.
Mike's gonna look at all.
So let's step in somebody's field.
One thing I know, what is that? I know nothing.
You know nothing.
The guy needs all his paperwork.
Yeah, they might. I don't know. When you put, hey Mike, when you put this show up, you might get flagged. Somebody might give you a call.
That's what I'm saying. No,
that's all right though. We're not scared.
The the algorithm is like, hell no. This is not good. There's too much. The matter of fact, there's so much bomb. It's like every 2 seconds.
None of us are scared.
They're like, nah.
I'll tell you so much we're not scared. I'll give you every single one of their addresses. You're not getting mine though. I'll give you every single one of their addresses. None of us are scared.
Instagram probably shut down by now.
Right.
The CIA
They
probably
might-
send a signal and shut down.
They might flag us. All this guy talk about some inavailability, like something's about to happen.
You
And
got this guy over there. He's anti-Semitic, and
I'm not anti-Semitic. They're not
You
Semites.
gotta cut that and post that part, No, but
put the
what he
disclosure,
said,
in, the,
though, was
put the
true,
disclosure
He-
in the bottom.
he did say that on an interview. It
What?
was on a Fox interview. Is the prime minister or the president?
Oh, it's Prime Minister.
Prime
Bibi
Minister.
Netanyahu.
The prime minister.
Devil in the
Said what?
flesh.
Said what?
What he said.
That if Tel Aviv gets bombed, New York should get bombed next.
I was gonna ask him what he said. He said what he said.
No, for
He
real.
said a lot, but
I-
what specifically?
He also said that they tried to assassinate the president on like 4 different occasions or something like that.
Yeah.
No, but the information that he was like
Which president? Which
spewing-
president?
The U.S. president.
Mhm.
Yeah, the Israel,
Fear mongering.
what's his name?
Israeli Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu.
Nahu, you talking about?
Yeah, that guy, right? He said the Iranian they tried to assassinate the U.S. president on 4 different occasions.
That's a lie.
No, I first
I know.
heard that idea.
Conspiracy.
4 time.
That's
I mean,
the plant that they're trying to. That's the seed that they're trying to plant.
Which president? I mean, in
That they
general.
tried to kill
or
Trump.
No,
just
the U.S. Trump.
They tried to kill Trump
he
4
said
times.
Yeah.
So they're trying to basically
So
they're
he's
trying to
saying
pin that on Iran.
Right.
Don't you see the narrative?
Right.
Don't you see the predictive programming? You
Don't-
don't see the setup?
Don't you see the manipulation, the pattern of it?
Exactly. That's the lineup. That's the line. You gotta remember, I'm a 3rd generation con artist. I smell bullshit a mile away.
I didn't believe that information though. I didn't believe it.
I mean, that sounds like there's some type of instigation.
That sounds like a
It's
cry for help.
propaganda.
It is instigation.
Yeah, that's some sort.
That's what it is. It's propaganda. It's nonsense.
I mean, that's crazy. I remember one. He wasn't the president yet.
You
when
got
they
you
tried
got
to
you got
assassinate
you got to
him.
bring hard
He
evidence.
was.
No, when he
No,
had
he
the,
wasn't.
when he had the rally, no, he wasn't the president yet.
was running- he was
after the
running
rally.
up.
He was
He was a
running
candidate.
for the president. He was just a candidate.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So he wasn't the president. All the attempt they made, he wasn't the president
It was
yet.
still Biden.
And look, and none of these guys are from none of these guys. Like if you look at their real nationality, Netanyahu's not. He's not. I'm like he might be Jewish by faith or he's a Zionist. But do you know what? He's Polish.
I don't. Yeah, I was about to say. I
Netanyahu
don't
is
think,
Polish.
I don't think he's
He's a
originally Jewish.
He's from Poland. He's from Poland.
There was
He's
I didn't allegedly. I
Yeah, he's a
heard
Zionist.
That.
He's
I
a
didn't have no
globalist.
facts on that. That if he's
Yeah, he's Polish.
Jewish
No,
person.
no
He's
hard,
Polish.
no hard facts. No hard facts.
He's Polish. He's a Polacco.
So the other thing too now is that
Don't stretch it in.
the other thing where the same issue now going on where ICE with this parade thing that's going on right now where I think Mike we did address this a little bit
Puerto
last
Rican Day Parade.
the parade stuff and then
The King's Parade.
your dad went decide to have a birthday party for the US.
Yeah, the King's Parade. The
I
King's
know
Parade.
the King's Parade and nobody really show up. But when you look in Los Angeles,
And now he's clapping
New
back.
York, there's millions of people showing up at it. Well, obviously because they're protesting against him. So why they would go to his rally or why they would go to the his soldier his party and his army birthday
And you
party.
against them.
And you against them. So it logically didn't really make any sense why oh wow. But to waste $50 million of my money and so forth, that's really meanwhile.
And you know
I
those
understand-
protests were funded. Those protesters were paid to be out there. They weren't doing it.
Well, maybe some as what I
Who
think
pay-
Mike
who
did
paid them?
address that at one point.
You have to look up a man by the name of Neville Singham.
Okay.
Remember I said that? Yeah, I know who you are too, Neville. I pay attention. Nothing gets past me.
He has a lot of insight. You need to go work for the feds, man.
Right.
Nah, I'm not working for the
Not
feds.
forget, you need to work for the CIA.
I'm not working for the feds. The feds is compromised by APAC. That's all right, APAC, you're next too. I forget nothing.
Matter of fact, just go to England because now they have their first director
Neville
of MI6.
Neville Singham. Nevill Singham. Singham.
She
or
would,
Neville
she would
Zingerman.
need the help. She the first female director of spy agent MI6.
Yeah,
in England.
UK's already compromised, bro. They got taken over by Sharia law.
That's deep.
They are. They have.
I don't know, man, but-
they got taken over.
Well, we'll see. I mean, I hope we don't. It doesn't go to the level where.
I mean, there's way too many people in the United States. You got to remember, we have 330 million people that live in the United States.
342.
On top of that, you also have to remember, we're probably, even though, see what's crazy with the United States, with American citizens in general, people that were raised here, you're very smart, but psychologically, they can still be manipulated. And when I say psychological manipulation, I mean the media. I mean this constant narrative that they're pushing. You have to remember, the key, like I said, I'm a third generation con artist. I don't joke when I say that. I really am a third generation con artist. The key to a con, I can keep telling you. I will keep telling you. Obviously, look at me. I'm 5'11", 285 pounds. I'm overweight. I can keep telling you. I will keep telling you 100 times. 100 times.
Like,
Oh, yeah, I'm 190 pounds, all muscle. I'll say this 100 times. Just, while we're talking, I could be talking like, yeah, I just went to the beach. Oh, that's I'm 190 pounds, all muscle. You know what I'm saying? Then I'm talk about the, I went to get a sandwich. I'm 190 pounds, all muscle. By the end of that conversation that I said that, you guys are going to walk out of here and be like, did you know that Justin's 190 pounds, all muscle? Knowing that I'm not. That's the key to manipulation.
Psychologically
It's repetition.
This
This is what the media does to us. This is what the media does to this American citizens. That's
Mind conditioning.
But then also, we have some of the most smartest people in the world in this country, because there's a lot of people here that are free thinkers. But unfortunately, the idiots outnumber the free thinkers. And then what happened when you're a free thinker, you're labeled a conspiracy theorist. You're labeled crazy.
But
you're labeled an undesirable.
But you have to agree to that. You have psychos out there that create their own narratives, our own foolishness, and then try to blast it or try to promote it with others who. And I think they target people who they're looking for something. It's like they have a void that is missing. There's something that they know is missing inside of their life. So when you
that's
have
preying on a weak
nincompoops or these
Bunch of them.
these drift off individuals
Yeah.
who just want to create and just want to look people to come on their side.
Yeah.
They create these stuff and they try to find these vulnerable people who, as soon as they say, hey, they would believe and say, oh, that is true. That is factual.
Yeah, you're absolutely
You have
right.
people out there deliberately looking for that. So,
of course, but
I mean,
you got to be smarter than that. That's why a lot of people, and what I've noticed, even on a national scale, nobody utilizes critical thinking. Everybody lets their emotions dictate their movements. Look, like I said, that whole No Kings protest across the country, that was idiotic. They don't even know what the hell they're protesting for.
right, of course they
You
know.
know, they're utilizing their logic over
You can't
emotions.
say that, Justin, because one of the
They have no idea what they're protesting for.
Of course, one of the main reasons why they're out there.
They
is
want to
that
go
they're
against the current
trying to-
administration.
No,
No.
it is what Trump was pushing. How Trump is going out with ICE in conjunction with
Yeah,
ICE.
because it's necessary.
But
You understand?
There's some overreach. And what they're saying, this is what they are some of these saying. And I guess these are the people who have their head screwed on.
Yeah.
It's a policy where, yes, the government has to do what it needs to do to get some of these.
Exactly.
These people. However, there's a process.
Yeah,
they have to follow, and some things doesn't require certain.
You're
process.
absolutely right. But
Right?
what you got to understand is that extreme circumstances call for extreme measures. Okay? We are in extreme circumstance. When we have 20 million undocumented illegal people here, and mind you, I'm a son of an immigrant. My mother had to wait. I just spoke with my mother when I was in Florida. My mother had to wait 16 years to become a naturalized citizen. She came here when she was 6 years old. She didn't become naturalized until she was 22. Can you believe when she moved here, the State Department called my uncle, because my uncle's the one that adopted my mother. I found this out when I was in Florida. They had to call the State Department, called my uncle every year from the age of 6 till my mother was 21 years old to find out my mother's whereabouts. They always had to know where she was at.
But why they want to find out her whereabouts?
This was the immigration process to make sure this was
back then.
Yes, but this has always been the immigration process.
Don't they do
the
that
immigration
now?
process has never been lenient.
I don't know if they do.
They gotta have your
stuff like
address,
that.
right?
Yeah. This is what my mother went through. Remember, my mother was a what do you call? My mother was an unaccompanied minor. She came here at 6 years old on an airplane by herself from
That
Caracas,
sounds
Venezuela.
specific isolation. I mean,
No, this
isolated.
was the process. But what I'm saying is that my mother went through all that. She followed the rules. Okay, it took her 16 years to get naturalized.
But why do
So
you
for
want to
these
monitor her like that? I mean,
That's just the way, because those are the rules. Don't you understand? When you come into this country, there are rules that you have to abide by. See what these people are doing? You're coming into this country, you're disrespecting this country, and you're waving another flag. It doesn't work that way. Because if you and I went to Mexico doing that shit, they would shoot us on sight. And you know it.
that is.
If I went to
pretty much
Kingston
true.
doing that, burning the Jamaican flag, talking about America, they're busting a hole right in my head. You know that.
That's a fact.
That's factual.
So why is it allowed here? And they say, because America's land of opportunity. Not anymore.
No, he's asking you the question, Mike. So
What?
answer.
But you gotta understand.
What was the question?
You gotta
Hold
understand.
on. What was the question?
They weren't doing.
If
they
they
weren't
go to
doing
Jamaica?
that before the.
No,
the
but what I'm
race
saying
started
is that
happening.
why is
Why
it?
do you think it's okay?
Why do you think it's okay for everybody to disrespect here? Like you come here for opportunity, it's not okay to disrespect this
okay.
country. Especially when you came. Look, my
I
mother
mean,
went through 16 years.
the thing
my mother
is,
took her 16 years.
remember,
to get
you
naturalized.
have each country have certain leniency how they operate
No.
with civilians, right?
No.
So if
What country? We're the only country that has that leniency. You go to every other single
but
country.
why?
they-
Why we have this type of leniency?
And,
Why
and
do
they
you-
shouldn't. That's what I
I'm
mean.
asking you, why they have.
I
this
have
type
no
of-
idea, but they shouldn't. We should have.
But
we should have
I think
there shouldn't be any
but you
leniency.
got
If they
you
don't
got
have these type of leniency, how you and I and our family benefited from? Because if that's the case, then you and I would be.
But our
rough-
family came in the correct way. I'm assuming when you came
Yeah,
here,
but even
how long
if-
it took you to get naturalized?
What?
When you came here, how long it took you to get naturalized? So you were raised here.
No, I think I go through the process because when I was kid,
But Mike, how long it took you?
I
From
mean,
when you moved here to when you
I
became a
think
naturalized
I
citizen.
started doing it on my. I think my dad kicked it off. I think maybe at the age. I don't know, but I think.
But it was a process, right?
I had my card. I didn't go through the process. I'm the one who wind up going to do it, and I did it at the age of 17.
Okay, and then how many years is that? It was you got everything done all at once.
Yeah, at once. I'm actually.
you
I had
got
a
time.
lawyer. I had a lawyer did it
Oh,
for
well,
me.
look at that. See, some people don't.
I paid. It was at the time.
no.
it was
Say
like-
it again though.
It was like $2,000 I had to pay
Yeah,
the
that's
lawyer.
right. You got it.
out of my pocket.
But you can't. First, you got to become a permanent resident.
I was a permanent.
you
Yeah,
got-
it was
then-
a permanent
yeah,
resident.
then you
Probably
got-
had resident.
I had a
school.
yeah, my mom, and my father took me up when I was little, so we came up and I grew up. But I was a resident at the time, and I grew up. He didn't go through with the citizenship thing. I don't know,
Okay.
whatever the case is. But before I leave high school, I started filing for. When I realized that I'm not, I started filing for my citizenship.
Okay.
And I went and did it on my own, find my own money. The lawyer charged me about $2,000 at the time to do it back then.
That was a lot.
That was a little bit compared to now.
Yeah. That's
How much?
that's what I'm
Oh,
saying.
right
That's a
now,
lot of
like
money.
$6,000.
It's
Right?
like
But back then, that was a lot of money. That's a lot of
But
money.
there was a lot of money
Yeah.
because those are like in the 80s.
I seen an
like
application.
that.
I seen an application was
But
like
Mike, you
$400
did it,
and
right?
something dollars.
You didn't go protesting in the streets, right? You didn't go burn the American flag and then waving the Jamaica flag, down Baychester
Yeah, I
Avenue.
follow
did
the
you?
rules and I go do what I have to
Exactly.
do and stuff like that.
And that's what these people are not doing. They think because they're here, this is land of the free dogs. You have to go through the process. You have 20 million people here. And then what's crazy, what kills me, but we've been here 10 years, but you never went through the process. Okay, yeah, you were here. We pay taxes because you had a tax ID number. They allowed you to work here.
Right.
And pay taxes on that because it's the United States, they're still greedy. But that doesn't necessarily mean, that doesn't give you citizens' rights. You understand? It really doesn't. So the fact that that's what I'm saying. These people, so they're getting mad at ICE, but ICE is doing what's necessary. It's an extreme circumstance. It calls for an extreme measure.
But yeah, I agree still. I agree to a certain extent. But the problem is that ICE are doing what they call it, out of route or out of character movements. So out of character movement in context, what I'm saying
You
is
mean
that
unlawful?
they're doing it unlawfully, right? I mean,
How?
they're not following the procedure
How
they
so?
should. Like, for instance, what they started doing now, they are setting up a lot of these immigrants. So they tell you, come to court. And some of these are innocent immigrants who came here. They may not have their papers, but they came here through the program what Biden did have, right?
Right.
Where they come for
Which supposed to be a
residency and
pathway to
stuff. And it's supposed
citizenship.
to be a process they're going through, which they have to go to court and stuff like that. What ICE is doing, everyone at this point in time, based on history and information that is out there, everyone that comes to court to go and see the judge for them to get some type of a status updates and information, ICE is snatching them.
Yeah.
For interviews.
I mean, that's
No.
that's
Even-
They
for
come for the interview to
even-
follow up with their cases to see where, what their case is. It's just like you're going for your green card, you have to do this, you have to do that, or
Right.
you're going for any type of documentation, you have to go and follow certain procedures, bring in certain documents. Show
So you're saying that's supposed to be like a safe space?
it's supposed
Yeah,
to
but
be
but you're missing out.
ISIS
You're leaving out the
grabbing them
part.
from
Yeah,
there.
but you're leaving out the part where ISIS is releasing them after they see that all their paperwork, all their ducks are in a row. Now, if their ducks
months
are in a row,
after.
that's the process. That's the process.
I don't know, but
See,
I
this
mean-
is another problem with America. This instant gratification nonsense. It doesn't work that way.
Why don't you? Okay, so you're telling me, no? Why if you grab this individual, like even they
Okay.
have deported people who have literally citizenship here,
And they
had
got let
deported,
go of.
and then let them go, and even the Trump administration judge who put in power said, "No, what? You know what? You cannot do this. Return these people back." Trump said, "You know who you talking to? I'm not doing crap." So
Yeah.
this same citizen, the few of them, I think it's about 4 or 5 of them now, who Trump accidentally, he also mentioned to his policy, to his administration that this was accident. What to say? If this
Okay.
was accident, why you didn't return? The
Administrative
judge
error.
instruct you
Administrative
to
error.
the judge instructs you, your judge,
Yeah.
what you put in place, instruct you to bring back these people, and you haven't done that yet.
You know why, right? Because he's a commander in chief. You don't tell the commander in chief what to do. It's a chain of command.
Here's the thing, though. That means that is a dictatorship.
That is not a dictatorship.
The law-
That is the
the
president
law-
of the United States.
It's
He
the
He's
law.
not
is the
above the
commander
law.
in chief.
So the policy of this
No,
country
that is the president of the United States.
hypocritical.
He is commander in chief. A judge that got appointed by the commander in chief does not tell the commander in chief
So
what
he's
to do.
not above the law. He's not
That's
above
not
the
being
law,
above the law. That is the chain of
No!
hierarchy. No, that is the
So
chain of
you're
command.
telling me-
That is the commander of chief.
You don't make
He
any
gets the
sense.
last word.
The Constitution said no one is above the law. Is that correct?
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, so
But how's it saying he's above the law?
Trump, how is Trump gonna overrule? Okay, you have to
Because
judge.
the judge does not tell the president what to do. Now you can notify the
He
president.
enforces
no,
the
listen,
law.
listen. You don't tell the president what to do.
So if that's the case,
Listen,
why don't
listen.
he rule out
You don't
his
tell the
conviction?
president what to do.
Why
You
don't
suggest
he
to him-
rule out his conviction? What New York
well, then
State
most likely he
It's
did.
not gonna happen.
It's a process.
It's not gonna happen. It's
No,
not gonna
most
happen.
likely he did. You
Did
can't
what?
say that.
He made attempt to trade, but he still stick.
What do you mean?
His conviction, his 38 of conviction, is still stick on his record.
Okay,
He can't-
and?
so I'm saying, why don't if he's so bad and ballsy and so high in power, why don't he rule that out, cast that shit out?
Rule what out?
His conviction.
Okay,
you on the rock or
you're
something?
completely
Right, he
moving
should
the
be able to
goalposts. We're not
explain-
even talking about that.
What
We're
you talking
talking
about?
about immigration. We're not talking
But
about
I'm saying
the
the
conviction. That has
absolute-
nothing to do with what we're
You
talking
just
about.
off- you
Do
went
not
off.
move the goalposts. I do not like that.
How are you moving the goalpost?
You're
It's in
moving the
context.
goalposts. We were talking about immigration. We were
It's-
not talking
we
about
are
no conviction.
about power because the judge telling him that he cannot do
Okay,
certain
and what I'm
things.
telling you
And
is
you're
that the
saying
judge
that
cannot tell the president of the United
Why?
States what
He's
to
not
do
above the law.
because he's a judge. You don't do that.
Yes.
There is a chain of command.
And
There's-
Okay.
there's the
judge
law.
cannot tell
There-
him
there-
about the
there-
law.
there- there's the law.
A supervisor does not tell the postmaster general what to do.
You go
It does
with,
not
you
work
go
that
with the
way.
contract.
It does
It's not,
not
it's not
work that way.
subjective. You go with the
So now-
There
contract.
is a chain of command. That is order.
Yes, I agree.
There
but
is
not
the law.
that in that context. The judge is the one that keep the law and the Constitution running in this country.
No.
Now, if the
no,
judge,
no, no,
What-
no,
what?
no, no, no.
So you're telling me
No.
So you're telling me then that the mean Trump is above, or the president is above the law. Then that's what you're telling
No,
me.
I did
No,
not
he
say
didn't
that.
say
I
that.
didn't say that at all.
So then you're
I
making
didn't
up
say
two
that at all.
things
Things
then.
and
That- but
I didn't
that-
say that at all.
That is what
I
is
said
inserted.
there is
That's
a
what
chain
he's
of
inserted.
no. I said there's a
No, no.
chain of
Okay.
command.
What is
There is a hierarchy. Okay, a federal judge cannot tell the president of the United States
Why?
what to do. Okay,
So-
now you can suggest
Suggest
what to do, but you do not tell the president what
They're
to
the
do.
ones who enforce the law.
No, they don't.
That means
A
again.
police
that
officer
means the
enforces.
Trump-
No,
the-
a police officer enforces
just like
the
an
law.
army soldier enforces
Okay,
because they're
a
police.
judge does not enforce the law. You need
What
to
do you mean?
look
What
up what a
a
judge does. I want you. What is the definition of what a judge
What
does?
do
I
you
want you to
mean when
Google it
the
right
judge
now.
enforces the
I
law?
want you to
Then why
Google it right
behind
now.
go to court
I
then?
want you to Google
Why you
it
go to
right
jail?
now.
Police,
Why you go to jail?
If you notice,
What? Exactly.
if you notice, a judge cannot make a decision.
Why?
A judge
Who made
cannot
the
make a
decision?
decision without
Who
the
made-
jurors.
That's in some case. That's in some.
No,
cases.
that's in every case.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
That is in
People are
every
jail
case.
right now with the
Okay,
judge.
like I
Give
said,
them the book.
there is a chain of command. Okay, it is a hierarchy. You cannot tell the president of the United States what to do.
I
You guys are
don't
lost,
see judges give an extra 4 or 5 years for contempt of court.
Exactly.
What do you
They're
mean? Yes.
jury for that
Because that's in their court. But what
Man,
I'm
you
telling
guys
you
are
is that
contradiction. Now
he
you're
is the
moving
highest.
the goalpost.
He is the highest in the land. That is the commander in chief.
He's not
You do not
above
tell
the law. He's
I
not
never said he
above
was.
But
I
you're
never said he
making
was.
assertion that
I
he
never
is.
said he was.
Because he
I
has to
never
follow
said he
the
was.
rules.
I never said he was. I never said he was. Okay. The judge is not a lawmaker. The judge is not a policymaker.
Mikey, these guys are moving the goalposts.
No, we're all over the place. We're all over the place.
No, because I'm trying to talk about something. He wants to move the goalpost so he can be right.
No,
and it
I
doesn't
agree
work
with.
that
I
way.
agree with
No,
Justin.
no,
I
the
agree.
lion speak.
I agree with Justin.
No, the lion speak.
It doesn't work
I
that
agree
way,
with you,
man.
Mike.
No, but it doesn't work that way. Don't you want to?
we-
Let's put it this way: what you just described is anarchy. You understand?
How is that?
That is anarchy because, like I said, there is a hierarchy. There is a chain of command. Okay, that is order. That's why you have law and order. Okay, feelings have no place in law and order.
Laws, while the judge enforces
The judge
laws.
does not enforce the law.
Just like the
You
police
know what the judge does?
officers,
The judge sentences
the
people.
law.
The judge sentences people.
We can't go back and forth with this all night. We're gonna have to wrap.
Hey, you want to get?
No, because
the tension is high.
Yeah, this is really high. This is really high.
Tension is high.
This is really high. Yeah.
Too much anti-Semitic.
No, but what I was saying.
You want to cut
Look,
him back?
look.
Later on, he probably tell me, "Yo, Mike, put some blur on my
No,
face."
like I was saying.
I'm bored of these talking about right.
Going back to what I was talking about, okay? ICE did what was necessary, okay? It was not unlawful. Everybody's saying, oh, well, they're hiding their face. So what? They can hide their face. They're doing what they're told to do.
Yeah, that is not
Okay.
true. But what I'm saying, I'm agreeing with the ICE movement.
Okay.
However, it's just like, for instance, what scenario I can use.
ICE just doing their job.
You have a process at home, where your kid do something, or your wife did something, or your girlfriend do something, or whatever the case may be. You have a process in there. You know what? You sit, you talk, and then you talk 1 or 2 times, and then she can't hear, she can't listen, he can't hear, can't listen. Then you say, you know what? You gotta go. Right? You have a process you set up. So yes, if your girlfriend, wife, boyfriend, son, whatever the case may be, do something, you're gonna want to talk to them, right? If it's the first incident that's happening, right? You're gonna want to talk to them. You're not just gonna get up and throw them out the house. You have a process set up in place, right? Or any other thing. So what I'm saying in context is that ICE has a process that's set up. Yes, there are certain things where some of the policy or some of the movement, ICE can't really follow that. They have to bull force them. And I agree.
Okay.
But what I'm saying that there's certain process they still has to follow, which the judge also indicate and share them with them many times. They said, listen, at the end of the day, when it comes to these certain cases and stuff like that, you have to follow these process. These other cases, you can pretty much do whatever you want. The judge gives them.
You're absolutely right, but due process is only awarded to U.S. citizens, not illegal aliens, not undocumented people.
Listen, there are some of them also going through the process of getting their paperwork legally.
It doesn't matter. You're absolutely right, but they're still not U.S. citizens yet.
Yes, but they have to get some type of.
But they're still not U.S. citizens left.
They're not U.S. but they still have to start from somewhere.
You're absolutely right. I agree 100%.
But they can't do anything about that. That's the problem.
That's just the way it is, man.
The process.
That's the way it is.
At some point, you're gonna have to wrap.
Justin,
Listen,
Justin, you're always right, but this time you're not right.
No, I'm not. No,
Due process.
He's
no.
not
Due
always
process.
right.
I am right.
Due
I am
process
right. You know
applies.
why? Because I am right because that's the law. It doesn't matter. Do I feel it's wrong? Of course I feel it's wrong. But I am right. You know why? Because that's the law. Due process is awarded to U.S. citizens. These are not U.S. citizens.
That's not true because
No, it is true. It's
In
very
the
true.
law, in the Constitution, it says everyone.
Yeah, every
regard-
U.S. citizen.
No, everyone
The US Constitution,
everyone
not the
is
world-
presumed.
The U.S. Constitution, not the world Constitution.
Everyone is presumed innocent
You do realize I have the Constitution
until
in my house.
there
Right?
is
You do realize I have the Constitution in my house,
a
right?
guilty. Right.
I read it.
Everyone is presumed innocent until you can prove otherwise beyond a reasonable
That
doubt.
are U.S. citizens in this country.
Right now, if you arrest somebody on the street, they're presumed innocent.
If they are U.S. citizens.
That's another thing too. I can do. Anyway.
I'll bring the Constitution. I'll show you plain as day.
We'll take this off the air and continue. But anyway, folks, tonight was really interesting.
It just it's not that
It was really interesting.
Israel, nobody's coming to help you.
The Constitution is pretty much basic.
And I'm happy about that.
There's only 3 branches of government. 3.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Executive, legislative,
Yeah.
and what is it, judicial or whatever.
Judicial.
Yes,
Yeah,
judicial,
the-
legislative, and
It's
executive.
3, and the Constitution affords us the
Constitution
the
only
the
applies
right.
to U.S. citizens.
All right, so we move on. So, I mean, people, we thank
Everyone
you
is
for,
presuming. If somebody accuse anybody right now,
That is true. It is true.
But we're all U.S. citizens, so we're good. It only applies to U.S. citizens.
I want you to find that in the Constitution, but we'll do that off here.
what Mike is saying, what Mike is saying to me, continuous.
Folks, we thank you for stopping by the garage, Mike and Mike show, and you can see the panel is hot. The panel is back, and
Yes.
you witness it tonight, and so forth. And for those who wasn't watching it live, you will witness it if it makes it on YouTube.
Justin's fired up.
he came back with a vengeance.
right.
Mike over there, Mr. Trump over there,
right.
silent all night, boys. Yeah,
Michael was
they
quiet
said-
because he agrees with me. That's
what
why.
they said, cat catch his tongue, boy. But anyway, so without final thoughts, Angel, with a quick final thought, what was the conclusion? What do you think, based on our discussion and what you think is going on?
I think keep the faith. Pray for everybody's success, and hopefully we can get amicable resolution from everything that's going on right now. But keep your faith strong.
Indeed, Justin.
Burn Israel, burn. Thank you.
Mike.
No comment.
Mr. Magaporta.
Yeah. The algorithm going off.
Well, folks,
Y'all probably should be laughing right now, bro.
my 2 cents is this. We will see what's going to happen. And it's not good for where the countries stand with Israel, with Iran, the U.S., or financial infrastructure. Overall, things are not adding up right now. Things are going to get worse for us. And, so for some people, war is good. For society, it's bad. So I don't support what's going on. The more war we have, the more financial structure issue we're gonna experience,
Struggles, right?
and struggles and stuff like that. So with just that alone out the window, and other technicalities still where I wouldn't support it, but we will deal with that at another time. But I thank you for stopping by our show, Mike and Mike. Please like and share and subscribe. Tell a friend. Join us next week, Tuesday again, same time, same place. And I hope you have a blessed evening. And again, share, like, and subscribe. And we'll talk.
And remember, guys, Israel did it, not Iran.
Peace out.
Peace.
Thank you, guys.
All right.